Born against long odds in 1976, the Long Beach Grand Prix is North America's premier street race. The debut event featured Formula 5000 cars in a race won by Brian Redman. The following year, Clay Regazzoni captured the inaugural U.S. Grand Prix West, and in 1977, Mario Andretti passed Jody Scheckter in the closing laps to become the first American to win an F1 race on home ground. Andretti's popular victory put the race on a firm financial footing and set in motion the rebirth of Long Beach, which morphed from a down-on-its-heels port city to a thriving modern city tourist destination. The resulting building boom necessitated ongoing changes to the track layout, finally settling on the current 1.96-mile 11-turn circuit encircling the Long Beach Convention Center and Long Beach Aquarium. The Long Beach Grand Prix changed gears in 1984, bringing the homegrown Indy cars to town as featured attraction. The event hardly missed a beat as the names of Unser, Zanardi, Montoya, Franchitti, and Power soon joined the likes of Regazzoni, Andretti, Villeneuve, Piquet, and Lauda on the illustrious list of Long Beach winners. What's more, the event grew to include at various times the American Le Mans Series, Grand Am Sports Car Series, and Pirelli World Challenge. Open wheel to sports cars, world-class driver or movie stars, the Long Beach Grand Prix circuit is as testing as they come, with very hard walls eagerly awaiting the slightest mistake. Tonight it's the Lonestar Racing Sports Car Series round number 2, and it's coming up next on HBR TV. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to Long Beach, California, Long Beach Street Circuit for the second round of the Lonestar Racing Sports Car Series. 60 minutes of racing action around these tight turns and narrow straightaways that we're going to have to deal with here tonight. It's going to be action-packed. Watch these LMP2 cars try and negotiate the traffic of the GT3 series. Practice is just about complete here. Just over 5 minutes remain in the current session. Let's take a look at it. Current leaderboard. Top time, of course, a DP car. LMP2 car. Here we go again. I need a swear jar for these DP Daytona prototype conversations I keep having. But nonetheless, it is the 18 of Surratt. Kyle Surratt, that is. Second quick is the 2 of Matt Brewer. Then Kevin Blue, Garrett Hagen, and Nathan Deering. Again, those are all prototype LMP2 category. Looks like we've got about 20 prototypes actually in the field. Ironically, a little bit the opposite. Typically, we've got less prototypes and more GT cars. A bit of the opposite here today. The balance of that field. We've got 33 cars. Again, 20 plus are prototypes. Fastest as far as the GT category, it is Aldo Secklin, then Floyd Kerr, Brack Crouch, Casey Brunson, and Mark Thomas. Again, thank you everyone for joining us here once again from Long Beach at HBR TV. We did talk about it last week. We covered race 1 of this season that LSR has put on. We got lucky though. We're here for race 2, and it looks like we're going to be here for the duration of the season. We cover all these races. Got to thank the Old Farts Sim Racing League. They are the group that initially had the Monday time slot. They so graciously agreed to switch their time to Wednesdays to allow us to cover this. Didn't have to do that, but certainly do appreciate it. Helps fill the schedule. Just a few minutes remain in the practice session. Top time, a minute 11.92. Rather impressive. Seen a lot of these GT3 cars really struggling to put the power down on corner exit. Of course, being a street circuit, no banking to rely on. It's pretty flat. Got some up and down, some elevation change, which is somewhat uncharacteristic at a street circuit. We do have that here just a bit, but again, corner-wise, not really any banking to help hold the car. So it's mostly mechanical grip you're going to have to worry about and rely on. The downforce is somewhat of an advantage here as long as you're moving, I don't know, they say 60, 70 miles an hour plus is where you're going to get any kind of assistance from downforce. Short of that, it's all mechanical grip. So you're looking at that last turn, that hairpin, that is 100% suspension and tire. No downforce making a difference there. And that's the session. Checker flag waving on the initial only practice of the Grand Prix of Long Beach. Going to jump into a 10-minute qualifying session here in just a moment. Set the field for tonight's LSR Sports Car Series Grand Prix of Long Beach. See who hits the track first here. We'll watch Dan Fendick, the first GT3 category machine, actually scrapes the wall on pit exit. That's not a good start to your lap. Interestingly enough, no numbers on this car. Actually, there are a little bit. You've got the white numbers in the IMSA location, as this is an IMSA-sanctioned series. Looks like the paint scheme we've got on this Porsche is just an iRacing sanctioned series, hence the white and black iRacing number blocks on the hood and the sides of the race car. So if you do see that, they didn't forget the number. It's just in a different spot or a different color that matches perfectly with the paint. You see it just below the passenger mirror there, that number, 327. Bendick through the last corner of the hairpin, down the main straight. This might just be to take the green flag, if I'm correct. Nope, lap 1, a minute 21.284 for Fendick. We'll switch over to the DP category, the LMP2 category. Sean Roberts had a great run going to Daytona last week. I don't know if he got in his own head or burned the tires off it, but had that thing backwards more times than he'd like to talk about. Definitely had some pace, a strong leader, and a good opportunity here tonight to try and make up for it, possibly get himself that win that he thought he might have had last week. So far, fast time is Matt Brewer in the 2, 1 minute 12.45. Not quite practice time that we had seen, but that could have been indicated by a lower fuel on board, lighter car. Means you can brake a little bit later, you accelerate out a little bit faster. Roberts checks up just a bit, exiting the corner before he gets to the stripe. A minute 12.985. He had a lot more in it than that. Not sure the thought process there. We'll go over to Mark Thomas, back the GT category. He finishes up his second lap, a minute 19.607 for Mark Thomas. Andrew Locke on track. Locke's second lap, a minute 13.377. First lap invalidated. Could have been an off track. Joe Chuckers, first lap, a minute 17.503. Locks him up. Too deep into the turn 1. Into the limited runoff that they have here at Long Beach. Oh, Sean Roberts, car ran out of fuel. Okay. Good to the last drop? Not quite. Still a respectable time. Cody Anderson on track. Matt Brewer's second lap was a minute 12.06. Definitely a quicker time. Picked the pace up just a bit. Again, wasn't the fastest we saw in practice. We'll have to see if anybody can top that. Taking a look at practice times for the LMP2 category. It was a minute 11.921 out of Kyle Surratt. Kyle currently sits second on the time chart. Fastest in GT was Aldo Secklin, a minute 17.916. Floyd Kerr, Brad Crouch, Casey Brunson, Mark Thomas was the top 5. Cody gets a piece of the inside wall on turn in there. That's going to invalidate his first lap for sure. We've got Drew Prohl in the KFC Audi. Drew's having some connection issues, it looks like. Go back to Cody here at first lap. Guess it counted, a minute 14.254. Puts him 13th overall. Joe Tucker in the stream chat. Big wreck into turn one. Predictive broadcasting. Yeah, we'll see. Luckily, this LMP2 cars in the GT category are going to be split. Again, a staggered start. So if you do happen to wad up a bunch of guys into turn one, the GT guys don't come barreling in and, well, into the mousetrap. Yeah, Kevin. I'm hungry now. Thanks, Drew. Yeah, I'm hungry now, too. Just about 25 seconds remain in the qualifying session. Cody Anderson on his final lap of the session to see if he can improve that minute 14.254. Lap 2, minute 13.508, moves him up a spot to 12th. And the clock strikes 10 minutes. Officially, this session has come to a close. Taking a look at our starting grid in the LMP2 category, it's Matt Brewer on the pole. Starting to the outside, it's Kyle Surratt. Starting third, Garrett Hagen. Fourth, Nigel Stock. Sean Roberts will roll off from the fifth position. Dave Tamira will be sixth. Tyson Pankow, he'll start seventh. Kyle Moyer, eighth. Andrew Locke starts from the ninth position. Kevin Blues, 10th. Nathan Deering will be 11th. Cody Anderson, 12th. Matt Sisoler will be 13th. Justin Gledhill, 14th. Mike Fahey will be from the 15th starting position. 16th goes to Joe Tucker. Austin Delgado rolls off 17th. Will Brennan, 18th. Chris Goins, 19th. Jesse Redding and Bill Martin, that's 20th and 21st. In the GT category, on the pole position, to no one's surprise, it's Aldo Secklin, a minute 17.601. Floyd Kerr missed it by that much, starts in the second position. Brad Crouch, third. Cody Steeg will roll off from the fourth spot, with Chris Pio in the fifth position. Casey Brunson starts sixth. Mark Thomas in the 50. He'll start from the seventh spot. Beagle will take the 8th position. Dan Fendick will start 9th. Drew Prohl starts 10th. Blake Langley will be 11th. Bill Mulfeld 12th. And Britt Osborne will start 13th. You'll see those final three drivers did not take a time in qualifying, opting to start from the rear of the field. I'm no expert, but at a place like Long Beach, that might not be a bad idea. Let the attrition work itself out. You either want to start right at the front and hope nobody drives into you into one, or way at the back so you can check up early enough to avoid the mayhem that could happen on that first lap. Hopefully we get through this nice and clean. Gonna wait and see.
Flag.
Green flag wave, and we're underway to Long Beach. All three wide into one. Nope, they think better of it. Little sliding through. The leaders hit contact in a row. We got big trouble off the exit at turn number 1. Everybody's checking up. Got to get this mess fixed. They actually do throw the yellow flag. That was kind of the expectation. For the most part, we're going to run local yellows for this race. We didn't mention that this time by, but everybody in trouble here on the opening lap. They do throw a caution, wave off the start essentially. Going to try this again, but I believe we will go to a single file restart. Clock has started officially, so 59 minutes remain. Sean Roberts currently with the top spot. Matt Brewer drops all the way back to 14th. Well, let's try and get a look at it here. Never mind that Premier Series logo. Had a little issue with the project file before tonight started, and unfortunately had to restart the whole thing from scratch. And, well, I missed something. We'll get it right for next week, don't worry. Sean Roberts, though, he's going to have the lead on the restart. The GT cars, I don't really think they really got going. The procedure there was to let the LMP2s get rolling and kind of get away the best they could before letting the GT cars fire off. Reason being, well, in case the prototypes did what they did, wad them up in the first lap, exited turn number 1. Multiple cars involved in that one. Don't think we'll see anybody pit this time. Maybe for some damage repairs. Anybody that may have been involved in that. Now the leaders are catching the GT cars. This is becoming a bit of an issue already. Audi can't make the turn. My, oh my, oh my. Well, I can't seem to get it here, so let's rewind it again. This is the start into turn 1. The number 2 machine of Matt Brewer loses the back end. Cold tires, mind you. Catches the right rear, and then the second place machine that looks to be, can't get a number on it, but it sends the 2 of Brewer hard into the barrier. Then everybody else, just chain reaction, domino effect, piling on in. Again, we're going to back it up. Caution did not come out right away. So you'll see them rolling down. We'll slow it down as soon as they switch. There's the leader, mid-corner, back end steps out, catches a piece of the barrier, and then everybody else just piles in. Well, Joe Tucker was right. Except it wasn't in turn one. I think it was off turn one, technically. Debatable, I know. Curious how they're going to work this out. I know we're doing class racing, but after one lap with the caution, the LMP2 category has caught the GT field. Sean Roberts is your leader. That's the number 33, that black and chrome machine there. But just ahead of him is the last place machine in the GT category. Oh, this is just not going well. Sean Roberts now having an issue. I'm showing the whole field has crashed. Let's just back this up here again and see. What exactly happened with Sean Roberts. Looks like his bad luck from last week is continuing. He just got dumped under the caution. Let's back it up, try and get a view as to who that may have been. Possibly the 14 machine? Who's driving that one? Is it Dave Tamira?
Green flag.
And it looks like the green flag is out after all of that chaos. It was about a 9-minute delay that we had because of it. Kyle Moyer now is going to take over the top spot. Close battle here with Nigel Stock. Let's see if they can make it a lap here without any issues. Into turn one, once again, clean so far. Moyer gets away just a bit, a half second back to Nigel Stock. Nigel the second position. Again, we really haven't had any green flag laps yet. We got about one corner's worth at the start of the race. Caution came out immediately from a multi-car incident at the LMP2 category. We've had multiple issues with GT cars getting caught up with these LMP2s under the caution, and then a lap car trying to get his lap back, taking out the leader. Not sure what the issue really was there, if it was just a matter of not seeing the other car, but nonetheless, the worse for wear, it's Sean Roberts. He's going to be, well, the last car on the lead lap in the LMP2 category. Did hit the pit lane for repairs. Watching this battle up front, Moyer and Stock. Nigel does seem to close the gap a bit in the slower sections of the course. Again, these drivers are using open setup, so they can kind of use what they want. The leader gets into the fence. Stock in trouble. Sorry, Moyer in trouble. Stock takes over the lead, but Moyer battling back on the inside. Again, very narrow race course in many spots. Not so much here, but as you get down into the corners, not a lot of room for error. If you make a mistake, you're going to hit something. See the tire pack, 4 tires deep. Sticks out quite a bit. Boyer now back to the 4th position. He was leading. Overshoots the curb there a bit. Lifts the tires off the ground. That's not going to make it turn. Matt Brewer's in the pit lane. Don't know if this is for repairs or he's just short pitting this whole thing, getting the fuel done now. And they're not on a full fuel load. And the prototypes might be. The LMP2 cars may be on a full fuel load. Remember last week at Daytona, they did have full fuel tanks, whereas the GT category only 70% fuel. Brewer in the pits. Again, Brewer involved in that first lap crash. Looks like fuel only. He's down and away. Albeit at the tail end of the field. Again, a very long pit road here in Long Beach. Meanwhile, out front, Nigel Stock still with the lead, but Kevin Blue up 8 positions. He's closing down quickly. Looking for the lead to the outside, trying to set up the pass into turn number 1. Not enough. Thinks better of it. Plenty of time to go. 47 minutes. Little timing and scoring issue there for a moment. It showed Hagen as the leader, but I guess he was in trouble on the racetrack. So the LMP2s have caught the trailing GT car right now. I think that's the Lambo. Matt Solar up to the 3rd spot. He's knocking on the door at Kevin Blue. He wants that 2nd position. Has some pretty good pace right now. He is the fastest car on the track. 14:02 for the driver, the number 93. There he goes, looking to the outside. Nope, Kevin Blue shuts the door. Bobbing and weaving against some slower GT traffic to contend with. Once you catch them, this is going to be a problem all race long. Luckily for these prototypes, they do not have many of the GT cars to contend with, as they did, at least at Daytona last week. It was a pretty even split. 21 plus, I think 23 LMP2 cars in this event. Again, it's usually the opposite. Typically you see less of the prototype and more of the GT car. Prototype is kind of a real specific set of skills. I mean, with the GT category, you come in with really any bit of road racing ability. You can kind of get a handle on it, but you really need to put the time in, really need to put the laps down in this prototype style car. Closed cockpit, limited viewing out of the left and right sides before you can really be competitive and feel comfortable racing against other cars. 15 minutes down, 45 to go. So Solar still not able to get by Kevin Blue, and a little mistake there through the fountain section. Oh, we got trouble. The leader's in it. Nigel Stock gets turned. Not a major incident. Everybody drives away from it, but Nigel Stock's going to lose the spot. Matt Solar's going to take over the lead from 3rd. Not sure if Kevin Blue had a part in that or not. It doesn't show up on the timing and scoring. No replay available. Cameras weren't looking. Oh, GT category, the leader comes piling in, clips the LMP2. Correction, that was not the leader. Arlo Secklin is the leader in GT. Bill Martin was the number 24, the prototype mixed in with the GT category. Again, currently Secklin is your category leader in GT3. Full 2.7 seconds ahead. Second place running Floyd Kerr. And that was Floyd Kerr, it looked like. I think that was involved with the LMP2. Floyd's going to hit pit lane from the second spot. It's going to move Brack Crouch up to the second position in the Mercedes. Blake Langley back in the Ferrari, the number 16. He runs in the third position. Rest of the top five, Mark Thomas in position number 4. Beagle in 5th in the BMW. See Cody Anderson making his way through some slower GT traffic, as is Kevin Blue in the 54, the LMP2. Chris Pio in the Ferrari, the number 17. He is just behind the BMW as well, along with 2 more Ferraris. And a couple more LMP2s just trying to get by. That's the trouble that you run into these small street courses with the much faster LMP2 category versus the GT3. Power-wise, they're relatively similar, but weight, handling, downforce significantly better on the prototype. Catch these guys in a hurry. The Delta is sometimes surprisingly difficult to deal with. You catch them so quick, you almost have to stop to make the pass, but then driving out of the corner, you got similar power. Yes, you can certainly pull a GT down the straightaway, but at first it's a little different, a little challenging to make that pass work. The biggest problem with it is to do it without losing time, as we see another slow LMP2. Back out front, might have another battle for the lead shaping up in the LMP2 category. So Solar still has the top spot, but Andrew Locke has closed down the gap less than 0.2 of a second. He's got the draft, maybe a pick out of the GT. Andrew looked left, looked right, not going to do anything with it in one with the Mercedes to the outside. Down into the fountain section, so Solar still with the lead. Andrew drives it in deep, half a car length off the back bumper. Not that these cars have bumpers. Andrew Locke, the winner last week at Daytona, closing down on the lead position here at Long Beach. Just under 40 minutes remain. Round number 2 of the Lonestar Racing Sports Car Series. Andrew awfully close, gets to the inside for a brief moment, but thinks better of it again. Down the main straight, he's going to have a big toe down into turn 1, but will he have any ability to do anything with it with the GT cars looming? Andrew looks to the inside again, thinks better of it. Had a good run. Did Andrew spin? Andrew Locke did spin, trying to track down the leader. Let's go back and take a look at it. We can see, not from this angle. Went way to the inside. Too much rear brake. It spins around in front of the GT leader. Aldo Secklin narrowly missing contact with Andrew Locke. Andrew slips to the 3rd position. Secklin maintains the top spot in GT. Brock Crouch is in the 2nd spot. And Brock about 8.5 seconds in the rears. Aldo just in cruise control here at Long Beach. Saw Floyd Kerr make a pit stop a while ago. Might have been due to some contact, some damage that had to be repaired on that machine. Since been back into the race, I think a fast repair. Luckily got that thing fixed relatively quickly, but fuel strategy-wise, he might be good to go. Have to keep a close eye on Floyd Kerr and see where he ends up here at the end of the race. If he is good on fuel, this still could work out to his advantage. Takes a look to the inside on Beagle, the BMW. Good gaggle of cars here. The Ferrari at the back of these two as well. Along with another LMP2 just itching to get by. Kerr makes the move to the inside of Beagle, easily takes the spot. Move Kerr up to 6th position in GT. See Sean Roberts coming back into the picture as well as Nigel Stock. Two fast drivers in the LMP2 category, both having their share of issues early on. Again, Sean was lucky enough to get through that first lap crash without any problems, got himself into the lead because of it. But then onto the caution, gets dumped by another car, loses plenty of track position, and has to pit for repairs. Sean Roberts running in the 16th spot here, just behind Nigel Stock. Correction, 17th position. Amy Kerr, thank you for showing the sports class. Amy, I appreciate it. And feel free to give me a friendly reminder if I'm not giving them enough love. I don't do any of this class racing broadcasting. This is the second one I've done, so trying to give everybody some love. So if I'm not giving it, please let me know, and we'll make sure we cover those guys as well. Because 2 different races at once, it's a challenge. Sometimes hard to cover, but exciting no matter who's racing what. Sean Roberts making a look to Nigel Stock down the short chute into the right-hander. He's going to have the position, takes over P15. Oh, but he loses it. Spins the car. Nigel gets into him. Another spin for Sean Roberts on corner exit. Put the power down a little bit too soon. He didn't really need to do that in that case. Cars splitting him on either side, the Ferrari and another LMP. Tough break. Sean Roberts having a rough afternoon once again. It's really a shame. He's got pace as he hits pit road for another try. Maybe for repairs, maybe just for fuel, maybe to say, forget it. We're going to find out here in a minute. Meanwhile, Matt Sassoler still out front. Andrew Locke has moved his way back to the second spot, 4.3 seconds behind. See if he can cut into that gap. Just over 33 minutes remain. Ron Roberts in the box. No, yep, tire's going to go on it. Interesting move here. Haven't run a lot of laps, 18. But the first 9 minutes of this race were under the yellow flag, so Sean Roberts down and away. Aldo Secklin still your GT leader in the 666 Ferrari. And we've got another spinner. I think it was Chris Pio. Nope. Similar paint scheme. Cody Steeg, I believe it was. Yeah, Cody Steeg in the Mercedes. Cody running in the 31st position overall. It's 11th in GT. Another wiggle out of the 32 on corner exit. Not sure what the track temp is. Let's see if we can find that information right now. Track temperature 106 degrees, so it's warm, but it's not too hot. Certainly could be worse. Air temperature 66, humidity 48%, partly cloudy skies. Great day for a race. As we got trouble up here, the 24 LMP in the wall. I think that's Martin. Bill Martin just decides, you know what? I'm going to go to the pits. Not cause any trouble. No more than has already occurred. Meanwhile, Aldo Secklin is in the pit lane. This is for his likely only scheduled stop of the day. Aldo with some damage. Did he get into something? Looks like he did. We'll take a look at it here. Aldo Secklin, the GT leader, in trouble. He was part of that crash with Martin. Let's back this up a little further, see if we can get a better eyeball on it. Oh, we'll go back a little bit further. Just expected the LMP to go, and he just doesn't. And just gets run over from the back, unfortunately, for Aldo Secklin. Again, we're going to rewind this one more time. Try and get a better look at it. Aldo Secklin, the Ferrari behind the number 24, that purple prototype. Significantly off the pace. I mean, this is one of the slower LMPs in the class, with the faster GT coming up on him. But even still, this LMP should be able to drive away without a problem right here. Aldo gets back to the throttle. Has to check up huge to not hit him. Then goes to the right as the other LMP starts to go to the inside. Aldo doesn't see him coming. And there you have it. Run out of room. Big impact for the GT3 category leader. Tough break. Might want to consider a minimum speed. Well, meanwhile, we'll go back to Matt Sassoler, the LMP2 leader. Andrew Locke still in the second position, a little bit closer, but still over a 4-second deficit back to the 35 of Locke. Just past halfway from Long Beach, California, the Lonestar Racing Sports Car Series, race number 2. Just past its halfway point. We're going to step aside, go side by side so you don't miss a moment of the action, and we'll be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Long Beach, California, the LSR Sports Car Series, race number 2. 26 minutes remain here in race number 2. Current leader is now Andrew Locke. Pit stops may have played a part in that. Meanwhile, we've had a couple of incidents on track. Justin Gledhill crashed lap 24, at least for him. Let's take a look at that. Jason, the 511 machine. Just got on the brakes too hard again. Too much rear brake in it. We've seen this happen a lot, especially in this corner. Guys lock up the rear end and it just wants to come around. That's exactly what happened. Now we see Dave Tamira has crashed. Tamira in the 14. It's the final corner in the hairpin. Not sure where the crash is. It doesn't really show anything there. We'll go back live. Andrew Locke with the lead. Let's try and go back and see exactly how he took that. Was it related to pits, or was there a crash involved, or just a straight up pass? I think here it is. Matt Soler had his own issues. Matt Soler, while leading, puts it in the fence. So that's your top 3 with LMP2, Andrew Locke, Austin Delgado, William Brennan. We go back down through GT3 as we talked about. Aldo Secklin crashed out while leading, made contact with an LMP2, and it's ended his day. Now current leader Blake Langley Number 16 Ferrari, followed by Mark Thomas in the second position. That's the Race Anywhere Bad Obsession Motorsports Mercedes-Benz. And Floyd Kerr now up into the third position. We talked about Floyd pitting early. We weren't sure if that was related to damage sustained or if he's just trying to short pit, or maybe a combination of both. He definitely pit with some damage, used the fast repair, so it didn't cost him any extra time to do that. It's going to be real curious to see if he has enough fuel to make it all the way to the finish. Another 23 and a half minutes remain. Fourth position is Casey Brunson in the Ferrari. And the number 83 BMW of Beagle. Kevin Blues completed his pit stop, the number 54 LMP2. It's close to the front there for a bit as well. So you see another LMP sideways. This place is tough. Again, it's hard to put the power down. The surface is slick. It is public road, okay? So you've got all the leaky cars that are leaking oil and antifreeze and all that on a daily basis on this course. So, yes, you got a race car. It's got downforce. It's got good suspension and slick tires. But you have a slick surface. And with all that included, you still got to be able to put the power down and just carefully maneuver your way through the corners. Don't get too hard on the brakes. You see a lot of guys have locked up the rears. Too much rear brake bias very well could be playing a part in that as well. But just lack of overall grip. It'll bite you, especially leaving a place like Daytona. Going from there to Long Beach, that's a big transition. These guys are certainly making that obvious. Even some of these faster guys, Matt Sissoler from the lead, didn't make the corner. GT3 pit stops underway. Beagle and Molfeld in the pits. Cody Steeg and Chris Pio as well. Again, they appear to be team cars. One's in a Ferrari, one's in a Mercedes. Nothing that says you can't do that. Kind of gives them, as a team, at least the best overall opportunity to win some races, just due to the fact that the Mercedes might be better at one track, the Ferrari might be better at the other. Back up front, though, it's some usual suspects. Andrew Locke and Austin Delgado, two heavy hitters last week from Daytona. Andrew, of course, with the victory. John Roberts was involved in that for quite some time as well, but we've seen his struggles here this afternoon again. Sean Roberts listed currently 17th overall. See Cody Anderson running in the 16th position. Dave Tamira up to 9th. Tamira was the one involved with Roberts under caution, just barely clipping the right rear of Roberts' machine and sent him around. Nigel Stock running 11th after his issues. He was again a front runner for a time. Tyson Packow in behind him in the 12th spot. Joe Tucker having a decent day in the 7th position. He's passed 9 cars this afternoon. I say 9 cars. He's passed more than 9 cars, but he's made up 9 positions. Matt Sissoler all the way back into the 18th position. Looked like he had a podium for certain. Was leading at the time. Lost the nose of the car, put it into the tire barrier. Gave the lead to Andrew Locke. Andrew has not looked back since. He's got a 15-second advantage over second place Delgado. And Andrew Locke hits pit lane. Likely his only and final stop of the day. I expect to see a fuel-only stop out of the 35 here. It's going to give Delgado the lead, but Delgado has yet to pit either. Matt Brewer the next in line. Delgado takes the lead in the meantime. Brewer goes on by as well. Brewer did pit, though. He pitted lap 6. Not sure if he's still going to have to make another stop. Fuel only for Andrew Locke, down and away. So Austin Delgado puts those old Castrol Jaguar colors at the front of the field. Some of you got to be old enough to remember this car. I can't be the only one. Back in the old Can-Am, GTP, Camel Continental days. It's a livery that has stood the test of time. Looks pretty good on an LMP2 as well. So 16 and a half minutes to go. Delgado's taken over the lead. Brewer to second. Hagen to third. Moyer fourth. Andrew Locke now fifth. That's LMP2. Delgado has not pit at all today, though. Not sure if he's in a fuel-safe mode. I don't think anybody can make full distance on no stops. Brewer pitted lap 6. He might have a shot here to stretch it all the way to the end. Garrett Hagen, he's listed as pitting on the first lap, so he's likely going to need to stop as well. Kyle Moyer in fourth has not pit at all, and Andrew Locke just recently pit. He runs fifth. Likely to pick up a podium here. It's going to really depend on what happens with Matt Brewer. If Brewer can make it all the way to the end, he may end up with this. Brewer right on the tail of Austin Delgado. Only 2/10, not even. Bobbing and weaving, moving through some GT traffic. Back to the final corner of the hairpin. Red space in the stream chat, cheering on Matt Brewer for that second spot. Wants him to take the top spot. Give it time. I think Delgado's going to have to pit here soon. Don't overdrive it. Don't throw it away. See the back end of that number 2 machine slipping quite a bit on corner exit. Rear tires are getting hot. Definitely put the pressure on Delgado for a lap or two. Heated up those rear tires, and Delgado's in the wall. Caught up with a GT car. Let's take a look at it. It was Cody Steeg. It looks like, yeah, it was the Mercedes. Just loses it again. Too much rear brake. And just wait. Here comes the leader, Delgado. Nowhere to go. So that's going to give Matt Brewer the lead. Delgado stays on the track. No, Delgado hits pit lane. He's going to have to for fuel regardless, but now definitely for a fast repair. Brewer with the lead. Hagen now second. Delgado's in the pits. He's third, but he's going to lose that to Moyer and Locke just shortly. Moyer's going to need to pit as well. 13 minutes to go. Back to the GT category. It's Blake Langley still with the lead, the black and green Ferrari. A very healthy advantage over second place running Mark Thomas. Mark Thomas, again, the Bad Obsession Motorsports Mercedes. And then third in class in the GT category, it is Casey Brunson, another Ferrari in the number 29 machine. Garrett Hagen's in the pits. We kind of expected that to be the case. Andrew Locke's going to slide up into P3. So definitely back to the podium goes the 35. Kyle Moyer likely going to need to pit as well. Matt Brewer, don't know if he can stretch it another 12 minutes. He's got quite an advantage. He's got 27 seconds back to Andrew Locke. Wouldn't be concerned with Moyer. I'd be really surprised to see if he could go this entire race without stopping. Delgado back in the pits. Not sure if there was a penalty. Stop and go for Delgado. Oh, contact. Matt Brewer in the wall. Was this another incident with Martin? Indeed it is. Tough break for the leader. Brewer getting caught up with Bill Martin another time. We've seen this a couple of times today at least. Brewer has towed to the pits. This one is gone. No shot at a win for Brewer. Tough break. Let's go back and take a look and see what we can see. Can we talk about this early on? Aldo Secklin, it was the GT leader that caught Martin, this number 24 LMP, going extremely slow for its possibilities, its capabilities. Managed to take out the leader in GT and LMP2 in the same race. So, that's going to give Andrew Locke the lead once again with 10 minutes to go. Sometimes it's a matter of avoiding the traffic, keeping the nose on the race car. Andrew Locke has certainly done that to this point. Started 9th. Back up front. Dave Tamira leaving pit road for his final stop, catching some GT traffic as well. Leader in GT hits pit road. Blake Langley down pit road for his final stop. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. We're having some issues with the overlay. It's not displaying any of the information anymore. It's always fun. Nonetheless, Blake Langley out of the pit lane here. He maintains the second position as we got another crash just ahead, another LMP2. I think that was Mike Fahey. Yes, it was. Fahey's just going to drop out here. So Blake is in the second spot. Mark Thomas with 8 minutes to go. He takes over the lead. Now, Mark took a pit stop on the first lap, and I don't know if that was due to an incident related to damage. I still imagine he's likely going to have to make one more stop to get this one to the finish. The 9 minutes of caution may have helped, but we'll see. Mark's pretty good at making the setups. He does a lot of the editing for our endurance races. In fact, Mark is a team driver with HBR TV at times, and definitely tweaked our setup, did a wonderful job. As you see, does hit pit lane here. This is Mark's final stop. Let's see if he can actually gain some in and out time. Maybe get close. Don't know how far he had on Blake Langley. Langley is not quite to the hairpin. He's just now getting to the hairpin, so it looks like Blake is definitely going to take over the top spot once again. Patrick 881. I'm going to race the next round. Cool, man. More the merrier. Meanwhile, Blake Langley does take over the top spot in GT. Some LMP2 traffic close behind. Mark Thomas back out. Still in the second position. Again, I apologize. The left-hand side of your screen, the timing tower is not cooperating at all. So we're just going to turn it off. We're going to try and call this the old-fashioned way. Mark Thomas letting the LMP2 faster traffic go right on by. It's part of the game here in class racing is you do have two different types of cars. One faster than the other. You got to race the racetrack. You have to race your competition, all while trying to make sure that the faster traffic doesn't run you over. Key to that, be predictable, run your lane. Don't surprise the guy behind you by last minute deciding you're going to get out of the way. They're quicker. They can get around you. Same holds true for the LMP2 category, though, is don't make brash moves to go around. Try to watch the guy. You know, in some cases it's hard because you catch him in such a hurry. Got to try and get around him clean. Here at a place like Long Beach, it's very difficult to do. So Blake Langley out front still in GT. 21-second advantage over second place running Mark Thomas. Back out front, Andrew Locke, a similar advantage over second place Kyle Surratt. 14.3 seconds the advantage for Andrew Locke in the LMP2 category. Let's try this one. Let's see if this one will work. Well, the ticker works, so we'll go with that one until the race is over here. We're on our 42nd lap. 4.5 minutes remain. Nigel Stocks worked his way back up into the fourth position. Again, remember Nigel was leading for a while, had his troubles, got involved in a little bit of a wreck, but Nigel off the final corner dives down into pit lane. This is going to be his last stop of the day. Kyle Surratt doing all he can to try and catch Andrew Locke, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Still 15 seconds, and that gap is growing. Another 2.5 seconds back to third place, Garrett Hagen. William Brennan up to the 5th spot. William is our biggest mover in the LMP2 category, up to 5th position from 18th. Brennan, the number 28 LMP2. That was close. Brennan almost getting a piece of the outside safer barrier, or tire pack, I guess you could call it. No safer barriers per se. Delgado back up into the 10th position. Again, Delgado had an opportunity as well up at the front of the field. Gets caught up into a crash. Didn't end his day, but ended his chances at a win. Cody Anderson running in the 13th spot. Matt Sissoler 14th. Again, Matt, another front running machine that had problems. Tyson Pankow in the 4th position, up into the top 5. The GT car just decided to stop to let the fast traffic go on by. I don't know if it's a strategy I would recommend, but it worked. Andrew Locke off the final corner with 1 minute remaining. This might be the white flag. Indeed it is. Final lap, Andrew Locke started in the 9th position here today. Might have had the pace to make his way back to the front of the field. Was pretty much guaranteed a podium here with about 10 minutes remaining, but some last minute antics, I guess you could say, from some slower traffic cost the leader, well, the lead. Oh, Andrew in the fence. Andrew pushes a little bit too hard, off corner exit, puts it in the tire pack, continues on. He's got a 7-second advantage over Kyle Surratt. Let's see if he can get this machine all the way home. Andrew Locke on his 45th lap of the afternoon. Just a couple more corners to go. Into the hairpin right-hand turn, back to the main straightaway. And Andrew Locke from the 9th position is going to take the win here in Long Beach, California. Kyle Surratt is going to come home in the 2nd position. Garrett Hagen will cross the line, position number 3. Back to GT. Blake Langley still out front with a pretty big advantage over Mark Thomas. Again, 25 seconds through the hairpin. He's just got to get through here cleanly, and this win is going to belong to him. Blake Langley, GT3 Ferrari, down the front straightaway, looking for a checkered flag. He's going to see it, and he's going to win at Long Beach as well. Mark Thomas, a great run. Mark up to the 2nd spot. That's up 9 positions. Ironically, Blake Langley Passed 14 cars to get his win. Biggest mover on the day. Second is William Brennan as far as passing the most positions. But Mark Thomas crosses the stripe. P2 for the number 50 Bad Obsession Motorsports Mercedes. Casey Brunson gets a piece of the wall off the corner as well, but he is going to cross the line and finish in third. Andrew Locke parks it on the start-finish line. It's your race winner. We're going to step aside here, take a quick break, try and get a word with our winners. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Long Beach Grand Prix, the LSR Sports Car Series, is over. Andrew Locke, your overall winner. We're going to go down to him in just a moment, get a word. Trying to get our GT3 winner in here as well, Blake Langley. Well, while we're waiting for Blake, we're going to go pull Andrew Locke up into the broadcast booth. Andrew, it's Steve with the HBR TV broadcast. You got a copy? Andrew, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy? Andrew Locke, Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got me? We're going to try this one more time. Maybe we're having a problem with the channel. Andrew, you got me?
I do.
There we go. I don't know what it is about that channel. Well, Green Room works just fine, so we'll do it here. Congratulations on the win. You started 9th this afternoon, worked your way through the field, and looked like you definitely had a podium in store, but some troubles for guys out in front. You end up here with the victory. Tell us about your race.
Definitely an interesting one, challenging for sure. Guys had a lot of pace. I unfortunately didn't have a lot of time to put practice in, but I lost it there trying to pass the GT3 car, and Mark got by me, and yeah, there was some definitely a couple questionable things going on in the race, but we got through it all right. So
definitely some issues. Certainly that first lap was quite chaotic, where he wadded up half the LMP3 field, I'm sorry, LMP2 field. And then I think the leader got wrecked under the caution, and Sean had his issues. So I don't know. There was a lot of things that I'm sure the admins will go over and get corrected. But nevertheless, same story as last week, different racetrack, second win of the season already. Next week we go to the Glen. I know you like that place. You're an upstate New York kind of guy. Tell us what your thoughts are going into there.
I'm not sure what the penalties are. What is it? Is it an end of line and then a drive-through? So I'll have some making up to do. Needless to say, but I'm sure there'll be some quick guys. Hopefully we don't get GT3 teammates blocking LMP2 cars again, and hopefully it should be a good turnout.
Well, either way, a little bit more space to make some moves there at the Glen than compared to Long Beach. Good luck to you next week, and congratulations on the win tonight.
All right, thanks, Steve. Have a good night.
Was Andrew Locke, your LMP2 overall winner here from Long Beach. Next, we're going to go to Blake Langley. Blake, it's Steve in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Blake, congratulations. Again, a class win in that Ferrari. Tell us about your night. You were actually the biggest mover in the field as far as how many positions you had to make up, and that is accounting for both LMP2 and GT3. What was the strategy coming in? Did you just kind of survive? I mean, how did you end up here in victory lane?
I mainly survived during the race. I ended up messing my qualifying up, which made me start further in the back than what I wanted. But besides the point, I was able to get through the field really well, let the LMP2 go when it was needed. Great race overall for me. I'm pretty happy about the result for my first win in the series.
Well, don't quite remember where you ended up last week at Daytona. Nevertheless, you get the win here tonight. And let's ask you the same question. What are your thoughts going into next week at the Glen?
I'm quite excited for the race. The Glen, I feel like, is a very strong track for me. I've raced there plenty of times and just open sessions and everything. So I'm quite excited for that race, see where I can get a good result, hopefully.
Well, Blake, certainly good luck next week there. Congratulations on the victory here. Before we let you go, is there anybody you need to thank?
Not really.
All right, Blake. Well, thanks for talking to us, man, and again, good luck next week at the Glen.
All right, thank you.
That was your winner in GT, Blake Langley. Get some sponsors on that thing. Give them somebody to thank next time. Family, friends, anybody? It's all right, Blake. You can drive, so you got that going for you for sure. Again, congratulations on the win. We're going to take a look at the official race results. First, we're going to look at LMP2 race results. They are on the screen now. That's a good thing. Andrew Locke, of course, with the win. We spoke to Andrew. Kyle Surratt was second. Garrett Hagen was third. Tyson Pankow was fourth. William Brennan finished in the fifth position. Kyle Moyer was sixth. Chris Goins in the sixth with Lonestar Racing. He finished in the seventh spot. Nigel Stock, tough night for him. He finished eighth. Austin Delgado, ninth position. Again, a tough finish for him. He was up there with the leaders, had a good opportunity going, and just couldn't make it work. Got tied up in somebody else's mess. I guess that's where I'll leave it. But ninth finish for Delgado. Kevin Blue was 10th. Nathan Deering was 11th. Dave Tamira was 12th. Cody Anderson was 13th. Sean Roberts was 14th. Again, same situation for Roberts. Tough 2 weeks in a row. Had some struggles at Daytona last week after leading for a long time, and then spin after spin after spin. And then here, he was leading here right after that first big caution we had at the start. Gets turned under the caution. Tough break for Sean Roberts, 14th place finish. Matt Soler, different guy, same story. Sean Roberts and Matt Soler, they can probably commiserate later on. Soler is 15th. Again, he had a fast car, was leading this race at a time and gets caught up in somebody else's mess once again. Joe Tucker, 16th. Justin Gledhill was 17th. 18th position went to Matt Brewer. Again, Brewer had a good run and go. He was up in the top 3 for a while, even led some laps. Finishes 9 laps down, 18th. Mike Fahey was the 19th place finisher. 20th position, Bill Martin. And 21st, Jesse Redding. I don't think Jesse actually started the race, or maybe he wrecked out in that first lap. 45 laps down, that was all that the leader completed. But that is your LMP2 race results. We'll go to GT3 and look at that rundown. Blake Langley, of course, the winner. Mark Thomas, a solid run for the Brit, finishes in the second spot in that Bad Obsession Motorsports Mercedes. Casey Brunson was third. Brett Crouch was fourth. Floyd Kerr, fifth. Beagle in the 83 was sixth. Bill Mulfeld was seventh. Drew Prohl, eighth. Dan Fendick was ninth. Britt Osborne was 10th. Chris Pio was 11th. Cody Steeg, 12th. And Aldo Secklin. It's been a story tonight of hard luck for a lot of fast guys. These guys were getting caught out by some slower traffic. In this case, Aldo Secklin was the GT leader, caught an LMP2 that just was putting around. I'll be honest, I'll say it out loud, was not at a minimum speed by any means. He was slow even for GT standards. He managed to literally wreck the leader in LMP2 and then wreck the leader in GT. It's just tough break. Aldo's got to be beside himself. He's got pace in these things. I think he had a win in the bag, and it just didn't come to fruition. So we'll see how Aldo performs next week at the Glen. I imagine that is a racetrack that he is going to perform quite well at. But again, a lot of fast guys in this league. It's going to be a fun one to watch. So make sure you tune in for it. Again, it's going to be every Monday night here at HBR TV. I got to look exactly at the schedule to see if there are any breaks. We do have some longer races. It'll be a 90-minute, be your mid-season race, and then the season finale will also be a 90-minute race as opposed to the 60 minutes. So again, tune in for that. We're going to be here every Monday. Going to go live at about 8:20 every week, and then you'll see live action at 8:30. Tune in for it. If you haven't already done so, like, follow, share, subscribe. Facebook.com/HBRTV1. Also on the YouTube side at HBRTV1. You guys seem to be heavy on the YouTube side, but turn the notifications on. We do cover a bunch of other races throughout the week. Tuesdays, it's a Superior Class Auto Racing Premier Series. We've got a makeup race tomorrow at North Wilkesboro. The Premier Series is actually the trucks. They run pretty quick races. It's a sprint, so it's aggressive right from the green flag. Fun one to watch. Wednesdays, we start this week with the Old Fart Sim Racing Series. That's going to be a next-gen cup car. That's going to be a fun one as well. Thursdays, we don't have anything yet until the end of August. I think it's the 25th we start. It's another LSR, Lonestar Racing Series. That's the Lonestar Racing Truck Series. It'll be kicking off on the 25th of August. And then peppered in between Saturday nights, we've got the Numb Thumbs Racing League ARCA Series. That's a fun one to watch too. Great series, great leagues. Try to do our best here at the broadcasting side of things. And again, thank you guys all for being patient with me here in this class racing. It's a new endeavor for me. We're working on it. Hopefully we can get things cleaned up here and get it a little bit better for next week. Watkins Glen's one of my favorite places to go to, one of my favorite tracks to race on, and well, it's going to be one of my favorite to call a broadcast for. So tune in for it next week. Congratulations to Andrew Locke winning the overall here at Long Beach, and congratulations to Blake Langley for winning the GT3 category. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.